Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to be looking at the very old Fount of Wisdom RIMURU, one of the very first EX characters to ever come out back in 2023. And he's still maintained pretty decent value throughout his entire lifespan, a lot more than some of the other EX characters that are even quite a bit more recent than him. But this is because he's quite universal for the most part. He's got an AoE ult, he lowers defense, yeah, sure. He's got his physical buff, which is what we're going to talk about today, and then he did get a skill fusion a couple months ago for his orb change. It turned him from a 2 orange to 2 blue to any color to 2 blue orbs. I didn't feel like that was worthy of a showcase because it's just an orb change, so I've already done that with him. But he just got his second skill fusion, which enhances his physical buff, which is why he's remained a pretty good solid support option for so long. Now currently it's 65% physical attack and 20% physical resistance down, which has been solid. It's not the highest anymore, but it's solid. But when you skill fuse him, it becomes, it looks a lot better, because now it's 80% physical attack and 80% physical down. So you're getting an extra 15% physical buff right here, and you're getting 60% physical down on the debuff. And people are going to look at that and be, holy shit, that's huge. And I'm here to tell you that it's probably not going to be as great as you think it's going to be. Physical resistances, magic resistances, element weakness resistances, most defensive debuffs are actually pretty awful in this game, and it's probably because enemies don't have that high of defense to begin with, so lowering nothing amounts to you gaining nothing, essentially. Not to say that enemies don't have any defense, but lowering attack is a lot more beneficial to you taking less damage or doing more damage in some certain scenarios. But the only resistance down buffs that really matter are like the crit, pierce, and synergy, like the big time supports, and then the ult resistance downs. Those are the only debuffs that really have a major impact in your damage output. So while an extra 60% here looks really cool, it's probably not going to be super duper impactful. So in order to test this out, we're going to, do a basic nuke with him. We're going to go into Valor Cup since it's unrestricted and you can do whatever you want. And we'll just have a base, Summer Millum with her buff and his buff. And we can kind of get an idea of what damage she's outputting before the skill fusion. And then we'll come back after he's skill fused and we'll take a look at how much extra damage she's doing. Okay, I forgot to hit record, but we're going to be fine. I forgot to change around the team as well to make it so I would get a 6-hand, but it still doesn't really matter, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we should be okay here. They should be fairly tanky. Well, Trainee might die. I don't remember who's in the back. Hopefully no one that does anything bad to me. Oh, that would do something bad to me, wouldn't it? Yeah, that sure would. Okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. We can just push one more turn and get the EX ult back, hopefully. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I really cared about that. Okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and heal and guard. We'll have enough points to nuke next turn, so we'll be okay here. And then we can get the EX ult. 1, 2. Perfect. And now we can see how much damage Millum is going to do with her dark buff. And wait, why do they have... Oh, because Trainee. That's why. I mean... Sure. I guess we can just look at the damage that we're going to do against the Millum since she doesn't have that buff. That's just kind of annoying. Maybe it goes away? No, it's still there. Okay. So, okay, let's just pay attention to the damage that we're going to do on Exalted Champion Millum over here. 65% and 20 down, plus the guaranteed crit, guaranteed synergy. And then we'll come back and we'll do it again, and hopefully people won't be having a ult resistance buff. But let's see how much damage we put up. With Millum, 157. Okay. 157k right there. It's not that impressive, realistically, not in today's day and age, but he's a very old support character. So 157 around that. Let's now skill fuse Rimuru, and then we'll come back with roughly the same team setup against roughly the same kind of enemy, and then we'll test and see what the skill fusion actually does for that. Okay. We are fully skill fused now, 80% physical attack up, 80% physical down, and let's go back into a Valor Cup fight with my last remaining stamina. And we'll try and see if we can get roughly that 160 some damage. You know, how much higher will it be? I'm predicting probably about like 180. Oh, we're fighting light people now. Let's go into this one since there's a space of an earth enemy down there. Okay. Obviously, if we're going to hit light enemies with a Dark Melon, we're going to do a lot more damage than what we showed off originally when we were type neutral. So we can't... I don't want to nuke against light characters, but if we can bring in at least one of the backline characters, then I think we'll be okay. And we did swap around, so now Hinata's in the correct slot, so she can steal into 6. And so let's go ahead and hit you and hit you. I don't really care about Yome's Vengeance ability at all. Although it would be kind of annoying if he put physical resistance on people, which there he did. Okay, well, I guess I mean, they shouldn't be that hard to break through. Okay, yeah, Vengeance. Wonderful. Okay, steal those orbs. Boom. And then we'll bring Rimuru in to rainbow those. And boom. And now bring you in. And I think we should be able to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that should bring in 2 characters that are not light, so perfect. Hinata might die here, actually. Yep, okay, cool. So Rimuru will get swapped out. They'll bring in whoever else is in the back. Hopefully they don't delete my ult, but that's a possibility. Alright, they didn't. Perfect. Okay. We're looking good then. So, 160-ish was the baseline. I'm looking to see about 180 is what my prediction is after we do this. It's really not going to be as much as you guys think it's going to be. Like, you see the 80 and you're like, oh, holy shit. And we've learned throughout the course of other units with defensive debuff skills that it's not all that in a bag of chips. Okay, so what are we going to do against the hero and Rimuru who do not have the physical resistance, who don't have ult resistance, who are type neutral? 185. Okay, that's pretty much what I expected. So it's not like we went from doing 160k to like 220k that people were probably thinking. No, it's not going to be that much of an increase. It certainly did increase, but only about 15,000 damage. 20,000 damage, which 15% extra physical buff would track, and then the debuff really isn't there. So, is it worth skill fusing this Fount of Wisdom Rimuru when there are already better physical buffers in the game, like Commander Shizu, like Primal Demon Diablo, like the new Tournament Stalwart Lumi? She has her own physical buff and some other busted physical damage buff. Like, is it necessary that you do it for Rimuru? No. But, of course, if you don't have those other options, and Rimuru is your only physical support unit, then, you know, making characters or making him do a little bit extra damage could make the difference between winning a fight and losing a fight, especially when you build up to a lot of other buffs included. So let's go into the Chamber of Memories that's built for the Fount of Wisdom team. And let's put him there now with, like, the skill-fused Hinata and see what we can do. Okay, so we're going to use this team again, because it's the team I used to showcase Hinata's skill fusion when she got that. And with that and everything, we got 16.2 million out of her. And this obviously is prior to Rimuru's skill fusion. So, let's see, now that we have, like, a lot of different types of buffs, what this number can increase to. And because, you know, 167 to 185 doesn't seem like a lot, but it's also not just a lot of damage to begin with, maybe when we hit the higher numbers, it will actually make more of an impact. That's kind of what I'm hoping. I'm kind of coping a little bit, though. So if we can take 16.2 and maybe hit like 17.1, maybe get like an extra million out of it, then I'd be reasonably happy. It still wouldn't be super great, but it'd be better. But if we only get to like 16.5, it's pretty much a useless thing. But, let's try it out. Alright, thankfully, because we have a lot of orb changers now, we can just do this. And we'll bring in Hinata for Diablo, since Albus has turn 2 protection gauge underneath her, Hinata's turn 2, Blanca's turn 2. So we're going to have a lot of protection gauge coming in on turn 2, because we don't have the big 3 to start with. It'll make life a lot easier. In that last video that I showed, we got 10 stacks of Diablo, so we're going to try and replicate that as best as possible. Okay, that works, sure. Blanc can go away now for RIMURU. And then we could use the green convert from Albus and then his own convert. Albus also got a skill fusion with this meta. It turns her double green convert into an every green convert, kind of like Primal Demon, well, exactly like Primal Demon Diablo does, which is both a good and bad thing. It does increase the skill cost to 30, which normally I'm not a big fan of, but since it's an every green orb convert, I'm a little more willing to do it. Yeah, I mean, this would be an excellent hand where that would come in quite handy, wouldn't it? As I talk about it, I don't think I have enough points to do all 3 of the converts that I would need to do right here. Yeah, no, I sure don't. Okay, well that's super helpful. Can we still get 10 stacks even with this? We don't have a rewind. Now we're have to come back. Hold on. Okay. Finally got a good turn 3 where I didn't have 1 blue orb. I have 2 blue orbs. Ooh, what an upgrade. But it does mean that we can at least get a full hand after this turn. And we got more Hinata orbs than anybody else on the last time. So let's do the convert. Boom. Boom. Alright, perfect. As long as we can continue to get Hinata orbs, then we can at least work on getting her EX ult. And since we have Blanc, we have a triple ult swapper, which is great. So everyone on this team is doing something very important as far as damage is concerned. That's great, apart from the fact that we don't have don't have any real Hinata orbs except for the 1. So let's bring Blanc in for Albus, I guess, sure. And then we'll just alt swap away. So, all in all, I don't really think we need to sit here and wait for the damage. I think it's going to be okay, but not great. Unless you don't have a physical buffer, then I wouldn't really worry about skill fusing RIMURU. And even if you don't have a different kind of physical buffer, I don't think that the amount that you're going to gain off of his skill fusion is going to make so much of an impact that it would require you to want skill fusion. Because skill fusion takes a lot of materials, right? It takes a lot of materials it takes the Omni Accords, which are kind of hard to come by nowadays because they're locked to limited time missions or Inferno dire beatdown battle stages that are not, beginner to mid player friendly. So it's hard to come across those, and then it's also just difficult to get a lot of skill enhancement materials to level a skill back up to level 10 because Predator battles are not an unlimited source of income for skill enhancements. You can get the potions from each Predator battle, and maybe that can buy you a few here and there, but they're not super duper common. And unless you have literally been playing 3 years like I have and you've stockpiled everything, okay, RIMURU, please don't die. It's going to be a bit difficult to warrant spending that instead of putting it on maybe a different character who has a bit more value. Okay, let's use his, and then we'll just get him out of here, and we'll just bring Blanc in or something. Yeah, and then we can just use Hinata's orb change. So, alt swap, Hinata convert. Alright, are we going to be able to get to our 10 stack requirement? That's what, 450 points is I think what I ended at? I think we should be okay. And we should also be okay, because the next hand, turn 7, we should get the EX ult for Hinata. So I think we're on pace, still. But I mean, going back, like it's very expensive to do skill fusions, and unless the skill fusions are really, really major and they really impact you a whole lot, then I wouldn't really worry about doing a lot of them. Like there are, where is it? There are a lot of skill fusions in this game. Like a lot of them. And all these red ones I've done, but there's a lot that I have not done. Most recently, like a lot of these I just didn't touch because they're expensive and I don't think they're really worth the cost because I don't use those characters at all. Or the skill fusions are just kind of mid. There are some good ones in there that I just don't touch, but again, it's mostly because I don't use those characters anymore. And their skill fusion, while being decently good, doesn't make me want to use them any more than what I haven't already wanted to begin with. So that's my only kind of big kicker right there. Okay, we can take, well, ooh. I guess we can take Blanc out. And then we'll use the RIMURU convert to get those two. And then we'll bring you in. And that's an orange, which we're going to have to convert here. That's kind of expensive. Do we have enough points to actually nuke here? Because I had to use 3 skills right there. Ooh. Pretty sure we don't. Let's see. 8, 16, 24, 32... 430. We do not have 430 points right there. Oh, actually. Well. Would I have to use a buff early? Is that why? Let's just see what happens. Yeah, well, certainly not enough points regardless to use everything. I guess I'd need to get an early EX Hinata ult if I want to do everything here. I would be at the 10 stacks. I mean, that's something. But, yeah, we're 40 points shy. Alright, hold on. Okay. Lo and behold, after legitimately an hour of not getting Hinata orbs or not having enough points or something happening, RIMURU died once. It's like, oh man. Sometimes recording these videos is not just one and done, all nice, happy, wrapped up in a bag. But we're here. Finally, we can showcase it. We have enough points, I think, if math doesn't fuck me over. 1, 2, 3, and then... Okay, yeah, we should be good right there. Okay, so we've got the attack and then the massive ult damage for Hinata. We've got the brand new skill-fused buff. We've got the Albus debuff, which is really not good at this point in time anymore. Like, she was good when she came out and then for a little bit afterwards, but at now, just Pierce and 50% Pierce resistance down is nothing that I really write home about. Being like, ooh, look at this. But 100% synergy power from Diablo, which means that we can do the 50% synergy resistance down. And now we're going to be full buffed here. 150% ult damage, and then 6% trait, 80% physical attack, pierce rate, attack, synergy power, weakness, strike, and then a whole bunch of debuffs. 150 ult resistance down, 80% physical down, 50% pierce down, 50% synergy down. Again, remember, we're looking to go higher than 16.2. If we can hit somewhere around 17, then it'll be good. Anything lower than that, I'll be massively disappointed. But let's watch Hinata's ult. It's a fun ult. So let's actually send one orb too for funsies. 399. Okay, I think we should be doing a little bit more damage here. I think we should be within the realm of being acceptable as far as the new skill fusion is concerned. I still don't think it's going to make her magically do like 20 million, but let's find out. Oh, 18.8. Wow, okay, Neo, that's a lot better than 16.2, and it's the exact same team. Nothing has changed here. We're running the protection gauge on blue, charm for Diablo. This is pretty much the exact same team setup that I ran. Where is the team? Right here. Okay, so yeah. Diablo Almizia, Blanc is 120, 120, Diablo, and then Hinata, and Albus and Hinata. I don't... Does... the only thing that I could really think about would be if Hinata has enchantments on her gear that I'm not aware of. No, that's a blank sword. Okay, so yeah, we just increased it from 16.2 to 18.8. That is a bit better in terms of damage support. So if you're really going to put some big-time buffs on her, then yeah, that 15% and that 80 down will impact a lot more than doing 160k damage as a base level. So it's acceptable. Do I still think that it's super worth to skill fuse if you have better options, or if you're low on materials to actually skill fuse Rimuru? Probably not, no, because we're always going to get more stronger buffs that might be just straight up better or cheaper or easier to use. So I think he's a solid option if you have nothing else to do and you have an excess of skill fusion materials. But if you can do better, like if you have the FoW Rim team and that's your main team, and you just happen to have this Rimuru, like that's not really going to do anything for you, because the FoW Rim team is magic and Rimuru's buffing physical. So really take into stock what you're using prominently, and if you don't use physical buffs, if you don't have a physical team, then he doesn't really serve a purpose for you. But he is at least good. Better with his skill fusion now, and that's pretty much all we can ask for at this point with most skill fusions. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.